Welcome to the Southern Association of College Admission Counseling Virtual College Fair. Thank you for joining us. A few housekeeping announcements before we get started. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. Your camera and microphone are off so the panelists cannot see or hear you. This is just one of many different sessions happening, so be sure to sign up for additional sessions. This presentation is being recorded and will be available within about a week at the same website where you registered. Before we get started, we'd also like to take a moment to thank our fair sponsor, Cambridge Assessment International Education. Now I'd like to turn it over to our first presenter from Xavier University, LA.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us this evening. My name is Brian Cooper, and I am the Associate Director of Admissions here at Xavier University of Louisiana, located in New Orleans, Louisiana. And so just give me 1 second. Let me go ahead and share my screen and we can go ahead and begin. And so officially and virtually, welcome to Xavier University of Louisiana. So according to our numbers, Xavier has just below 3,400 students currently enrolled. And that is actually pretty transparent for our numbers for the last couple of semesters. And so some people have wondered if we've had any effects from COVID in reference to our numbers. And we've actually been pretty consistent. One of the ways that we've been able to do so is by allowing our students to take both virtual or online courses. For those that may not have wanted to travel to campus for this particular school year, that was totally fine. We were able to allow them to have a virtual schedule. Now, for those that are physically here at Xavier, they are actually able to have both in-person coursework and also virtual coursework. And so a number of their classes are in person but socially distanced, of course. And then they are taking a number of different online courses that might be considered hybrid or not. Hybrid basically means that you would have maybe one time that you would meet each week, while the rest of the work done will take place virtually. Our student to teacher ratio is 15:1. And so on average, we have 15 students to every one professor here on campus. And so your professor will know your name. They will know who you are. And actually, very brief story. During my freshman year, I was in class and I'd never spoken to my chemistry professor before. He actually called me out by name because I was on my phone not paying attention. And that showed me that he actually knew who I was without even knowing, without meeting me. And so your professors will know your face because it's their job to know exactly who you are. And so then we have 71.6% of our enrollment that identify as African Americans, and we are an HBCU here at Xavier. And so the bulk of our enrollment would definitely be, or rather is, African American. And then lastly, 19% of our enrollment are students that identify as Catholic. And so Xavier is a Catholic institution, but you do not have to be Catholic to attend. And as you can see, only 19% of our enrollment actually identify as Catholic. So when you are looking to apply to Xavier, there are a number of different things that you have to do. First off, you have to submit the application, which is very much free. The application costs you about maybe 5 minutes of your time if you're applying on our website, or if you are applying, if you're applying via the Common App, that's totally fine as well, but both of them are free. And so then we do require your official high school transcript coming from your counselor at your high school or coming from the registrar at your high school if you have one. Plus, if you are taking any dual enrollment courses, we do accept dual enrollment courses that are above a C. And you would have to have the official transcript sent in from the college in which you are attending. And we prefer that you do that once you graduate from high school so that we can have all of your courses all on one transcript. By the way, with reference to the application, we are test optional. And so I'll talk about that in just a second. But we do require a letter of recommendation too, coming from a counselor at your high school or from a teacher that knows you well. And so that can be done, via your application. You can enter someone in that can do the recommending for you, or you can have them to submit an actual written out letter for you. For your test scores, you can either apply with test scores and be evaluated with them or not. Even if you have test scores to submit, you don't have to be evaluated with test scores. By the way, we are a rolling admissions office, meaning that you can apply all the way up to August 1st of this year. before you attend in the fall. And also we do allow you to appeal scholarship funds in order to obtain additional scholarship dollars. And for scholarships, they range between $4,000 to $18,000 a year for our partial merit-based scholarships, which you receive a few days to weeks after you're admitted. And then also for our top tier scholarships, those include the Presidential Scholarship, in which your tuition and fees are taken care of, and the Board of Trustees Scholarship, in which tuition, fees, and room and board is taken care of as well. And you do not have to apply for those scholarships. So coming down to the end of my time here, make sure to follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Zula Admissions. Also, just a couple of quick facts. Xavier does allow you to have a car on campus. And so if you'd like to whip around New Orleans, you can definitely do that. Also, you are not required to reside on campus if you do not want to. That is up to you. And we have no out-of-state fees. Thank you for listening. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer those a little bit later. But thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Next, we'll be hearing from Paul Quinn College, and feel free to put any questions in the Q&A.
Thank you, appreciate it. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna start us off in our presentation once I share my screen. Fantastic, there we go. All right, so my name is Sean Whitten. I am the Director of Admissions over at Paul Quinn College. I've had the amazing fortune of being able to work under our amazing president, Dr. Michael Sorrell. He's an inspiration to us, and we are really a movement because of who he is. And so with that, I really want to go into a little bit more about who we are at Paul Quinn. So Paul Quinn College is the oldest historically Black college in Texas. And our roots really began in 1872 in Austin, Texas, when AME church pastors had a vision to really start a school as a means to provide education to those who had been former slaves and their progeny. So since our inception, we've really grown in our movement, really grown in who we are, and moved ourselves from Austin to Waco, where we really became a big important part of the city's history as the Athens on the Brazos, if you will. And our early college focus, after we've moved from Waco now to Dallas, has been focused on primarily focusing in vocational training and offering a few courses in the liberal arts. But we've really been able to amplify and carry that tradition, providing a quality, faith-based, liberal arts inspired education that addresses those academic, social, and Christian development pieces of our students. But we're now doing it through an innovative approach in urban higher education. And we're doing that by focusing on academic rigor, experiential learning, and entrepreneurship. So as I mentioned, under that leadership of President Dr. Michael Sorrell, we've become one of the most innovative and inspiring small colleges in America. Small meaning we have around 500 total students in our student body, private, faith-based, as we are still aligned with the AME Church, and a 4-year liberal arts inspired college with a reality-based education. And so what I mean by a reality-based education is that we are the only urban work college in the nation. So this is something that came in 2015. We adopted a new student financial structure called the New Urban College Model, and it allows us to reduce student tuition and fees to around $11,992 in total cost of attendance, and allows our students to then be able to take on entrepreneurial experiences where you have corporate partnerships and internships that pay you as you go along, so that you graduate with less than $10,000 of student loan debt, where the national average is now closer to $25,000. This model also allows us and is really designed to give you meaningful work opportunities, so that you're not only serving the Quinnite nation, but also getting the necessary skills and habits that you need to be competitive in the 21st century job market. That's why when you attend Paul Quinn, when it's at around $12,000 a year and you participate in this work college program, you might be able to receive a 4-year paid internship at $15,000 each year. So your family bill may be completely covered for all 4 years because of this. Our goal ultimately is to provide justice as inspiration. We want to end intergenerational poverty and offer all of our students the opportunity to transform their abilities into action and acknowledge and realize that potential into achievement. And we do that because we instill the 4 L's of Quinnite servant leadership. And that's, we leave places better than you found them, that you lead from wherever you are, that you, that you live a life that is worthy, and that you love something greater than yourself. Okay. And that all starts with our faith and justice right on campus. You know, we started and got rid of and converted our football field and made it into an organic farm. It's called the We Over Me Farm. And this is where that justice and faith really come into play. We really believe that we can fight and end injustices in America in a couple of fronts, but also food insecurity in our own neighborhood and communities. And so that's why we converted that field into a farm where around 30,000 pounds of organic produce since its inception in 2010 to now has become an opportunity for us to give a little bit more than 10% or more of that produce to local neighborhood charitable organizations, in addition to restaurants and grocers throughout the Dallas area. And so it's really that we are able to offer this change in quality of life, this upper echelon and engagement to help others. And so that's where I also see our students involved. The farm is completely operated by student employees. From the business plan to the marketing, and everything that you learn in the classroom can be applied right there on our farm on campus. And so that's where I also like to talk about a little bit more of our academics. When it comes into academics here, you're not only doing and applying the work as you go into a corporate work program, but that you are doing that in the classroom and learning the skills that you need. We really pay homage to the classical liberal arts tradition we have, but pair it with this idea that you're going to have mastery in writing and speaking and critical thinking and digital mastery, so that you're able to take on what we call ETA, or entrepreneurial thought and action, so that you're easily able to solve problems no matter what field they're in. Some of our most popular majors being business administration and a focus in entrepreneurship and engagement in liberal arts, and then our liberal arts in mathematics, where students will focus in more of those programming languages and computer science. But it's not only about what our students do in the classroom, in the work program, on the farm, and engaging in community. It's what they do after they're done as well. Teandra Jackson's the young woman in the left-hand corner here. She's a 2015 grad. She became a professional speaker, author, and now an HR consultant as well. But her book isn't just profitable. Her work isn't just profitable. It's also purposeful, where she's had the chance to now become an Amazon bestseller as she's focused her work on mental health and spiritual well-being. Destiny Modesti is another young woman who graduated as valedictorian with us, and she's been a fantastic entrepreneur in her own right. And so it's things like that where our students get the opportunity to not only show out in their nation building on campus, but in the community at large in the United States.
Thank you so much. Next, we'll be hearing from Norfolk State University.
Okay, greetings and behold from the Norfolk State University. Thank you for being with us today. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you guys so we can get started. Okay, so welcome to the time period commandeered by the wonderful and great, the Norfolk State University. Once again, my name is Mr. Ridley. I'm one of your senior admissions counselors. You will find my contact information right here on the screen. If you would like to email me, call me, or even set up a future virtual one-on-one appointment with me, please feel free to take a screenshot now. But let's get started as you hold on to your seats and behold the green and gold. For starting off, I always tell my students that you should be trying to graduate college at the top of your class. Here's one of my graduates here who just most recently graduated. Yes, it is. We are a Division I university located in Norfolk, Virginia. We are home to the third largest football stadium in the state of Virginia. Only two bigger than us is UVA and Virginia Tech. Our whole campus has gotten new life. We have a brand new student center, brand new academic buildings. We have upperclassmen, apartment style residential halls on our campus and our basketball arena. So let's dive into our sports. Here at Norfolk State University, we have men and women's basketball, men and women's tennis, all track and field games, women's volleyball, baseball, softball, just to name a few. Here at Norfolk State University, we have it for you. We are also home to the 2019 HBCU Band of the Year. Let me change that. The 2019 Grammy Award-winning HBCU Band of the Year. So if music is your passion, once again, Norfolk State University is your future home away from home. But here's a snapshot of our campus. I told you the whole heart of our campus has gotten new life. We have recently just built a brand new $4.2 million nursing and general education building. At the top of the screen, you would notice a brand new state-of-the-art 3-story solar and eco-friendly library. And on the right side is our newest academic building. It used to be our first and oldest building on campus, but it is now our newest building, which is home to our brand new mass communications department, which teaches you how to be in front of and behind the camera. We have our psychology department, our school of business, social work. We're ranked amongst the top 10 social work programs in the entire country, as well as our drama and theater department, where we have the #1 drama and theater department out of all HBCUs. Here's our enrollment snapshot. We have a little over 5,000 students here on our campus that have come from all across the country. Here's our male to female ratio. Most of our students do come from in-state, but we have students coming from North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Texas, California, New York, New Jersey, the DMV area, just to name a few, as well as across the world. We have 31 undergraduate majors for you to choose from on our 134-acre campus, where we have an 18-to-1 student-teacher ratio. Where is Norfolk State University located? We are located in Norfolk, Virginia, right here on the East Coast, just 15 minutes away from the Virginia Beach oceanfront. By Virginia's Golden Shore, there's a place that we adore. Every Spartan knows that saying. So if you like to put your feet in the sand, I know I do, we're right there close by the beach. We're also in the city, so we do have a state-funded light rail to take you right downtown. We just stops away, so you can hop on. Here's a little overview of our downtown area. So here's Norfolk State University right here. You catch the light rail downtown. There's a lot of great places to eat. I'm a fat kid at heart. I love to eat. So you have Waterside, you have the mall, and you have Buffalo Wild Wings where you can swipe your Spartan card. And that light rail goes all the way down to Eastern Virginia Medical School, in which through our bio pre-med program, we have a partnership with. Some fun facts about Norfolk. Norfolk is home to the largest naval base in the entire world, as well as the North American headquarters for NATO. USA Today has named Norfolk, Virginia as one of the top 10 boomingest downtowns. In addition to, we are home to Eastern Virginia Medical School, once again, where our bio pre-med program we have a partnership with. Norfolk State was founded in 1935 during the midst of the Great Depression. We are currently led by our amazing 7th president. We call her Dr. J, but for today's purposes, her name is Dr. Javon Adams Gaskins. We believe that education is the passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today. So we have a lot of resources on our campus to make sure that you are successful. We have career services to help you with resume writing, mock interviews. We have computer labs across our campus in every single building. We have our Office of Oasis if you have any learning challenges or disabilities. Student Success Center for academic advising. We have study rooms across our campus, and we offer free tutoring, free mentoring, as well as Big Brother and Big Sister programs, including a writing center on our campus. So there is no reason why you should not be an AB student. My question to all of you guys today is, will you be whole? Our application portal is now open. For today's purposes, I will be waiving all application fees. If you are interested in applying, you just go to our website, apply, and send me an email at rjridley@nsu.edu. And I'll be sure to make sure I give you a fee waiver. But how to apply? You can scan the code on the screen right here, or you can go directly to our website at www.nsu.edu/behold to apply. You can also upload all of your transcripts and test scores if you have them. We are test optional this year, so they are not required. We're generally looking for a GPA of a 3.0 or above, but no worries if you do not have that 3.0, please feel free to still apply, okay? And wrapping up, once again, we are test optional, and that is my time. This is Norfolk State University signing out, and behold the green and gold.
Thank you. Next, we'll be hearing from Fort Valley State University.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Adasia Wheeler. I'm the lead admissions counselor for Fort Valley State University, and I serve in the Southwest and Middle Georgia and the state of Alabama. For over 125 years, Fort Valley State University has served as a launchpad to success for talented students from all over the world. There is something about being the Wildcat that makes you hold your head higher, reach toward greater goals, and feel empowered to make your mark. Here are my colleagues, Ms. Jemiah Cox, who's the Regional Enrollment Coordinator. She serves in Northwest Georgia and North and South Carolina, and Mr. Travion Burks, who serves in Northeast and Southeast Georgia and the state of Florida. Fort Valley State University has the second largest campus in its in terms of acreage, second only to University of Georgia. Our academic facilities, residential halls, research spaces, and athletic venues mirror those at much larger schools. Our basketball arena, for example, seats 5,000 people and is the largest in Middle Georgia. Fort Valley is about as centrally located as you can get, 15 minutes from Warner Robins, 25 minutes from Macon, Georgia, and 2 hours from Atlanta and Valdosta, Georgia. We like to say that we have majors from A to B, from accounting to visual and performing arts. Many of our programs are known for their ability to produce graduates who go on to do incredible things in the world. We have 3 colleges: the College of Arts and Sciences, the College of Agriculture, Family Science and Technology, and the College of Education and Professional Studies. Our main residential halls feature student apartments where each student has their own bedroom, a private or 2-person bathroom, and lives in a 2, 3, or 4-bedroom suite with a kitchen and a living room. It is the perfect way to get the best of the college dorm experience while still having your own personal space. There are plenty of opportunities for you to lead as well, or just participate in something you love doing. More than 60 clubs and organizations are waiting for you to join, from SGA to fraternities and sororities to the Blue Machine Marching Band. We are home of the 2017 Division II SIAC Conference Football Champions and other high-performing athletic teams as well, including men and women's basketball, men and women's track and field, men and women's tennis, women's softball, women's volleyball, and co-ed cheerleading. Our admission requirements are now test optional. You must have a high school GPA based on the CPC requirements of a 2.25 with the satisfactory of SAT or ACT scores, or a 2.4 without consideration of SAT or ACT test scores. For SAT, you must have a minimum 480 on evidence-based reading and writing and minimum 440 on math. For the ACT, you must have a minimum 17 on English or reading and 17 on math. Applying is easy as 1, 2, 3. Visit our website, fesu.edu, and fill out a free application for admission. Yes, our application is free. Have your official transcript sent to us by your high school counselor, and have your official SAT or ACT test score sent to us as well. So if you're serious about success, we could not be more serious about you. We are ready to empower every possibility within you and help you shine your brilliance upon the world. Thank you so much for allowing me to share information with you guys today about Fort Valley State University. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we'll be hearing from Georgia State University.
Thank you, Anna. Good evening, everyone. My name is Alex Thomas. I have the pleasure of serving as the Assistant Director for Freshman Recruitment at Georgia State University. And I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen now. Give me one moment. And so at Georgia State University, one of the things we like to pride ourselves on is the fact that we're one of the fastest growing research universities in the entire country. And very few universities have come so far in such a short amount of time. So to give you kind of a better idea of where we are from a national standpoint, we're ranked the #1 public university for undergraduate teaching, #2 for being most innovative. Much of that ranking is due to what we're accomplishing when it comes to student success. So our 6-year graduation rate has increased over 23 points in the last decade. We're also ranked #5 for having the best first-year experience. So I think that's a huge testament to how much our students really enjoy being a GSU Panther and being a college student in downtown Atlanta. And again, We're one of the fastest growing research universities. Last year, we reported roughly about $150 million was raised or brought in from our faculty members through different research grants. So you definitely have the opportunity to do research as early as day one on our campus. We also have a wide variety of different majors and schools. So we have 10 different academic colleges altogether and over 250 different majors. So we are now the largest university in the state of Georgia with over 54,000 students, excuse me. And some of these majors, keep in mind, are gated. So whenever I mention that term gated, essentially what it means is that you would be admitted as a GSU student. But say, for example, you're interested in our Lewis College of Nursing or Robinson College of Business, you actually have to take a certain number of prerequisite classes your freshman and sophomore year in order to apply again to that particular program. So that is something you just want to keep in mind whenever you're applying to the university. One of the things we like to stress is the fact that we have a great return on your investment if you choose to enroll at Georgia State. So the average mid-career salary, and keep in mind, this is about 15 to 20 years out from graduation. So imagine yourself in your mid to late 30s is a little over $90,000 per year. Something else we like to mention is the fact that we are currently ranked top 10 for social mobility as well. So over 50% of our students do qualify for some level of the federal Pell Grant. And we're one of the most diverse campuses in the entire nation as well. So that is something that we always like to highlight. And about 4 years ago, Georgia State consolidated what was then known as Georgia Perimeter College, and today is Perimeter College at Georgia State University. So we have 5 different campuses across the metro Atlanta area, and you'll see them all listed here. So as far south as our Decatur campus and Newton campus, and then all the way to the northern part of the metro area up in Alpharetta and Dunwoody. So that does give students a lot of options if they plan to stay closer to home. It's a great way to start your education. Typically, Perimeter College is known as the gateway to higher education in the city of Atlanta. The tuition rate is super affordable for Perimeter College students. So if you're looking to be a full-time student and you're a Georgia resident, the tuition and fee rate is a little under $2,000 per semester, and that's before any financial aid is applied. And we all know that college is more about just the experience that you have in the classroom, but also some of the opportunities that you can have outside the classroom as well. And we're definitely not short on that. So in this picture here, you'll see a student who's standing outside of a pool. She's actually standing at the Georgia Aquarium. So she's a biology student who has an internship there at the Georgia Aquarium 3 days a week. It's only about 2-3 blocks away from campus. So she's able to walk there in the mornings and then walk back to campus to finish up her day and take her classes in the afternoons. And so that experience is not just unique to her situation. That's pretty much the case for a lot of our students at Georgia State. We're surrounded by a dozen different Fortune 500 companies that are within a few miles radius of our campus. We also have over 70 different study abroad programs at Georgia State. We have partnerships with universities in Europe, South America, Asia, and Africa. And some of these study abroad trips are as short as 2 weeks or a mini-mester, and then some can last as long as 2 full semesters, or what we call an academic year. It's really just based upon what you're interested in. And then we also have scholarships and grants for some students who've never traveled outside the US as well. So even if you never traveled outside the US, don't let that deter you from at least considering study abroad. And 3 years ago, the university wanted to capitalize on the growing entertainment and film industry in the city of Atlanta. If you're not aware, Atlanta is quickly becoming the Hollywood of the South. And so now there's a $6 billion film and TV industry here. And the university capitalized this by creating something called the Creative Media Industries Institute, or what we call the CMII for short. And it's a state-of-the-art facility across Woodruff Park in downtown Atlanta. It has green screens, CGI technology, 2 virtual reality labs, everything that you need if you are a film student. There's over 400 different student organizations at Georgia State. We also have 16 NCAA Division I athletic teams, pretty much everything that you can imagine there. And if you see a student organization that's not offered, you're always free to start it yourself. And then last but not least, the actual admissions process itself. This is the profile for our students who attended last year. Keep in mind, we are test optional, so SAT scores, ACT scores are not required at all. And it's not too late to apply. April 1st is our application deadline, and the application fee is $60, but we will waive it in certain cases. Not too late to apply, and then also there are scholarships available as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Lastly, we'll be hearing from the University of North Carolina, Pembroke.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kristen Woodle. I am the Associate Director of Undergraduate Admissions here at UNC Pembroke. And I am super glad to be here with you all today. So let me share my screen real quick and let's get started. So just to give you some background information about UNC Pembroke, we were actually founded in 1887 as the Croatan Normal School. So we are the nation's only public four-year institution founded by American Indians for American Indians. We were adopted into the UNC system in 1996 as the University of North Carolina at Pembroke. But if you fast forward to now, we are currently the most diverse campus in the UNC system and in the South as a whole. So if learning in a diverse environment with a diverse faculty and staff is something that's important to you, UNC Pembroke would be a great place to start your educational journey. We do have over 40 undergraduate programs, so spanning from anything from fine arts to pre-professional programs. So anything from American Indian Studies to pre-law, pre-med, and some of our top majors are nursing, elementary education, business administration, biology, social work. We're seeing a lot of growth in our kinesiology department, so over in our exercise sports science courses, as well as our criminal justice department and computer sciences. We are currently at our highest enrollment of over 8,000 students. We are super excited about all of the growth that is coming to campus. We are a medium-sized institution. I tell students all the time, UNCP is large enough to where you'll never know everyone, but still small enough to where you'll always know someone. We really pride ourselves in the home feeling that you get when you walk onto campus. We want all of our students to know that you are at home here, you matter, and we all know each and every one of our students. I was a student here. I graduated in 2017 with my bachelor's degree in exercise sports science. One funny story that I always tell students, my freshman year, I, for some reason, signed up for an 8 a.m. class, knowing that I'm not a morning person. And I overslept one morning, got to campus for my second class. My professor met me at the door walking into the building and was like, "Kristen, why were you not in class this morning?" He took the time to bring me into his office hours where we were able to sit down, and he gave me the study guide for the test that I would have my next class period. So it's always wonderful to have those relationships with our faculty and staff, and our students really do a wonderful job making sure that we bridge as much of that communication as possible. Our average class size is around 20 students, but there's a lot of times where you'll have classes much smaller than that. I had classes where there were just 5 of us, and still a class where it was as large as around 40 students, but those still broke off into smaller lab groups. But our university is broken down into 5 schools. We have our College of Arts and Sciences, the College of Health Sciences, the School of Education, and the School of Business. So one thing that I'll always tell students, regardless of which institution you choose to attend, is to get involved. So going to college is much more than just going to class. So we want to make sure that you are involved in as many things as possible. Here at UNC Pembroke, we are D2 Athletics. We're part of the Peach Belt Conference. We do have 14 athletic teams on campus, all of which have walk-on tryouts. But our student athletes know that they are students first. So in order to compete on the court or on the field, they have to compete in the classroom. So they do have mandatory study halls. Our professors provide coaches with regular progress reports just to make sure that our student athletes are also our student leaders on campus. We do have over 100 clubs and organizations on campus that you can get involved in, spanning from religious organizations to honor societies, student government, fraternities and sororities, and basic interest-based groups. So even if out of the huge list of organizations that we have on campus, if there's something that you think that we need that we don't already have, you can feel free to begin your own organization right here on campus. All you need is 3 friends that have the same interests as you and a member of faculty or staff to act as your advisor. It's just that simple. We also have a ton of study abroad opportunities on campus, and you can choose to either go with a group or you can choose to go on your own trip. It's completely up to you. So sometimes when you will go with an academic program, it may be a summer-long trip or a couple weeks, or you can choose to go for a year if that's what you would be interested in. And our Office of Global Engagement will make sure that we help you plan that trip as best as possible. We also have several living learning communities on campus because we believe that your education is best when you have support. And we want to make sure that you know that you're supported from day one. So getting involved in living learning communities, you're living with the same students that you're taking your classes with. So if you're interested in being a student leader when you get to campus, get involved with that living learning community. And you have the opportunity to sign up to be a part of that during your application process. We also have a ton of service learning opportunities across campus as well. So with service learning, you are literally completing community service as part of your academic curriculum. Like, how cool is that? Just last year, or back in 2019, our students actually submitted over 30,000 community service hours. So we're super proud of them for that. But we cannot talk about UNC Pembroke without talking about NC Promise. North Carolina Promise allows our in-state tuition to be $500 per semester and our out-of-state tuition to be $2,500 per semester, and you can apply to be a part of UNCP by visiting uncp.edu/apply.
All right.
Share.
Thank you. So I'm just going to invite all of the reps to come back on and do some Q&A. So I just want to ask you all, what advice would you give to someone going through the college search process? And we can just go in the same order that you all presented in, starting with Xavier University.
All right. So what I would give as advice is to be intentional. Right now, of course, there's a lot of pressure that you might be having on your brain at the moment to try and figure out exactly where you should go, exactly what you should major in. And so be intentional about what you want to major in. Make sure that it's something that's true to you and not necessarily something that you think will give you the most ideal future to, let's say, have a stable future. The worst thing that you can do is to major in something that you don't like in college and have to study long hours for something that you despise. And so make sure that you're being intentional about what you want to major in, and make sure that you're intentional about what, or rather where you'd like to go. If you have a chance to physically visit in a socially distant manner, definitely do so if it's within your power, so that you can literally feel the university or college that you might be able to attend. And so that you can know that that's the place that you need to be at.
No, I think it's more along the lines, if I might. During this time, I think a big piece of this is demonstrating gratitude. The best advice I could give you is you're going to be asking for a lot of documentation from others, whether that be in a letter of recommendation, advice to help through an essay or personal statement, something and the like. As you go through this process, know and appreciate those that are supporting you. Jacques Maritain is a French philosopher, and he said that gratitude is the most exquisite form of courtesy. And so that's the easiest courtesy you can give during this college search process is know that you have supports with you and thank them and appreciate the time that they spend on helping you reach your dreams.
Okay, from Norfolk State University, the best advice that I will offer any students that are seeking a college to go to will be, first and foremost, make sure you do your FAFSA. That is so important because paying for college, we know that the cost can be very, very large for a lot of people. So make sure you do your FAFSA, make sure you apply for outside scholarships. My little brother, he currently attends Norfolk State University. He accumulated over $1 million in scholarship funding. So make sure you try to get scholarships at your university as well as apply for outside scholarships as well to stack on. Make sure you finish your academic year strong so that you can submit your final transcript and end everything on a good note. There are so many great schools. Determine what major you are seeking and make sure you research the school to see if they offer what you are looking for.
My advice would be the best thing you can do to kick off your college search is to basically just start now. Tour the campuses that you feel like you're interested in. Look at the cost of attendance to attend that college because that is major. You don't want to, be in a lot of debt after graduating with your undergrad degree. Also, make a list of things that you could possibly need from the campus or college, like class sizes, the location, different amenities that could be on the campus, as well as different student services.
The best advice I could give you is to get as much information as possible from the experts, from the admissions counselors, from all the people who work in different admissions offices at the universities that you're interested in. Those are the people that are going to be able to give you the best information, most reliable information. I think oftentimes I come across too many students who are relying on hearsay or what they saw on Reddit or on social media from their friends, and you just want to make sure you're getting the correct information from the source. So that's the best advice I can give you.
The best advice that I could give you with your college search is know yourself. Know what you're looking for in the institution that you would like to attend. Make sure that whatever schools you are applying to has what you're interested in and that you can leave a legacy at that school. And don't be willing to don't be too afraid to step out of your comfort zone. That's where you're going to grow the most. So make sure that you're taking those risks and taking chances and just try your absolute best.
All right. Well, thank you all so much for joining us. Thank you to all of our presenters. When you go to close this window, there will be a link to a very quick 4-question survey, and we'd appreciate any feedback you can provide. Also, this was just one of many sessions being hosted, so be sure to check out the full sign up for additional sessions. And in about a week, you'll be able to find this session's recording, as well as all of the other sessions recordings at the same website where you registered. So thank you, everyone. Bye.